race is a strong voice for North Alabama, and that's more than just something to say. We need a congressman who understands the needs of this area and the state, particularly the needs for economic growth, and who will go to Washington and work with people on both sides of the aisle to protect those interests and to bring more jobs and more prosperity to the 5th District.
Would you support Clean Water Restoration Act that would keep the coal ash out of the Tennessee River?
Well, I think that keeping the environment clean is really important. Now, I have not studied the specific details of the act to answer your question, but I can tell you for anyone that's interested that I want a strong, clean environment, and I think we can bring together both members of the business community and environmentalists to achieve a compromise on any issue that confronts us. And that's my approach to every kind of problem, is to bring the red and the blue together and find an answer that works, because to me it's about results.
Tennessee Valley Authority used to be the model of government action in,
Right.
in market failures.
Right.
And it has since sort of declined, and the energy industry in America has sort of slid back because it was no longer the leader.
Right.
Will you help TVA to become an industry leader to point the way towards a green energy future?
I absolutely want to support TVA. I think it's very important. It was important 80 years ago, and it's important today, absolutely. And it's an example of where government action and involvement can be successful and can contribute to the lives of people in our area. I absolutely support TVA.
Although you will probably not get to vote on it, if you were in Washington today and you had a vote, would you vote for a public insurance option?
I would want to find a plan that works for everybody, and I think a public option is a reasonable opportunity. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know with a 2,000-page bill what would happen. But if I was in charge and I had the opportunity to find a way to provide health care for everyone, I think a public option would have to be an important point to work on. I think everything we've talked about, prescription costs for seniors, the rising cost of hospital care, would all be things we'd have to work on. Now, I can't commit to you that I would come out of a compromise with someone with everything, but I know those would be very important points that we would want to see advocated with a strong voice for that compromise once it was achieved.
How do you plan on meeting the challenge of running as a Democrat in a red state?
Well, that's a good question. I think the way you do that is you have to emphasize to people that it's about relationships and it's not about making a philosophical point. You know, if you want to go up to Washington and poke people in the eye, you can do that all day. But then you'll wonder why the NASA budget gets cut. You'll wonder why the TVA budget gets cut. If you want to go up there and be respectful but stand your ground on your principles, then you can still get things done because you get to know the chairman, you get to know the speaker, and then you develop a relationship where you say it's really important to Huntsville or it's really important to Decatur that this particular program be maintained or improved. And you can get results because Bud Kramer did it, Ronnie Flippo did it, and it can be done today.
Would you be supportive of Speaker Pelosi as she continues in her tenure there?
Well, you know, it's kind of hard for me to say what I would do with anyone up there until I get there, simply because the faces may change and everything. Now, let me say this. I do not agree with everything that Speaker Pelosi has said publicly. I am not a Pelosi candidate, and I'll just be clear of that. But I would work with whoever is there, including her. I would want to be friendly with everyone, including her. I'd be friendly with the Republican minority leader as well. The point to me is you can get along with people and you can get results from people without antagonizing them, and especially without insulting them in public. And we've seen what that's gotten for us lately, haven't we?
Yes, we have.